Coming up on Fresno State Focus, the Trump administration cuts USDA funding, how these cuts might affect Fresno State students.
Plus, Fresno State Student Cupboard tries to help with rising prices, how the USDA budgets are impacting its ability to provide groceries.
And we take you to the Acoma art exhibit to show off some work done by Black women artists. Fresno State Focus starts now. Hello and welcome back to Fresno State Focus. I'm Valentina Saldaña.
And I'm Vincent Camarillo. We have a lot to cover in today's newscast, but first, the latest on national funding cuts. Federal budget cuts are impacting communities across the country. The most recent cuts this week are at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which could directly impact Fresno State students. This comes after the Trump administration established the Department of Government Efficiency to find ways to save taxpayer money. The DOGE website lists the USDA as number 9 on the list of departments receiving the most cuts. And now food banks around the country are feeling the impact.
We have a food bank right here on campus. I got a behind-the-scenes look at the cupboard and what could happen with these national budget cuts. Frozen peaches, almond milk, and bananas can all be found at the Amendola Student Cupboard at Fresno State, a free food pantry for current students. But how do these shelves stay stocked?
We pick up from Grocery Outlet, Winco, Smart and Final, and then we get like oranges and lemons donated through Be Sweet Citrus. And so it really comes in from a lot of different places, and we kind of just piece it together.
Piecing it together is a team effort between staff and students. Some students are paid, while others are volunteers, like Ruby Mora.
Every time I come in, I just check in and just ask them what needs to be done, what can I do to help, and they just kind of guide you. They're very helpful. Everybody's really nice, and you just kind of get to socialize with other people and just do as much as you can to help out and stock everything, make sure there's enough for when we open.
But that stock can maybe decrease. Behind me is a student cupboard, and here's where students can get free meals. But how is that affected now with budget cuts? Last week, the Trump administration cut $1 billion without any warning from the USDA's Commodity Credit Corporation. This organization gives money to many food security programs, including some here in the Central Valley. According to Fox 26, the Central California Food Bank has 13 delayed trucks because of the cuts. That food is valued at $800,000 and was planned to feed people through July. The food banks across the states are not sure how it will affect them as questions come up. Reporting from Fresno State, Valentina Saldaña, Fresno State Focus. Michael did tell me that any cuts at the food bank may affect the cupboard, but the cupboard does receive a lot of outside donations as well, so any future impact is not certain right now.
Recent funding cuts to food assistance programs have halted deliveries to food banks nationwide.
Jarrett Smith is live at the Central California Food Bank to tell us how these cuts are affecting the Valley. Jarrett?
Hey, Valentina and Vincent, thank you. I am here with Romel Martinez at the Central California Food Bank Distribution Center, and he is the communications manager here. Romel, can you tell me how these national funding cuts are affecting the food bank here locally?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me and for being here. Right now, we are in the warehouse of Central California Food Bank, where with the support of our 280 member partners, we distribute food to over 310,000 families every month, and which of 100,000 are children. So these federal cuts are having a very big impact in all of the food banks all over the country, where we are not just distributing food, but we're distributing hope to all those families. So due to these federal cuts, that means that we have less food and we have less opportunities to support our local farmers and growers.
Yeah, so if we take a look around here, we could see a lot of empty storage spaces around here, and this is from the food cuts?
Correct. So to give you an example, we learned that 13 truckloads of food, including chicken, pork, milk, eggs, and cheese, worth of $850,000 are going to be that were supposed to be delivered from April to July are returned due to this federal cuts.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have, Romel. Thank you so much for joining me. Valentina and Vincent, back to you.
Thank you, Jarrett. In response to the recent budget cuts, 31 U.S. senators came together to support a letter to the USDA regarding the food deliveries. In the letter, they wrote that many Americans count on food assistance programs. They continue to say these cuts will affect the delivery of food to food banks. The letter ended asking questions about the future of the USDA and if more cuts are on the way.
Fresno is an artist town. We have a few galleries here on campus, a vibrant art department, and Art Hop twice a month. But when Art Hop became too big of a celebration, the city of Fresno made some changes. Elizabeth Andres Aguilar shows us what grew from these new policies.
There's something new in downtown Fresno. After the announcement by City Council member Miguel Arias that outdoor vendors would not be allowed at Art Hop anymore, for safety reasons. A new event followed. It's called Why Not Wednesday. It's held in downtown every third Wednesday of the month. While Art Hop highlights local artists indoors, Why Not keeps that street fair energy outdoors that people enjoy, with different local pop-ups filling the streets with different art, vintage clothing, jewelry, live music, and most importantly, food vendors, as seeing that people just don't want to lose.
I feel like we've all felt the impact of the closure of Art Hop, and myself, along with a few other organizers and the Downtown Fresno Partnership, wanted to keep it going and still bring the people out here.
Why Not has been going on for 5 months now.
The event is still small, taking up only 3 streets, starting at Fulton and Tulare, ending at Fulton and Inyo. Despite that, there's a community here that wants to grow.
You know, word of mouth still. I think some people still aren't familiar with what we're doing here. I also think that, you know, people still talk about Art Hop a lot and they're kind of missing that like sense of community. But I think, you know, if people start talking about it more and start telling their friends about it, I think it'll get to where we were.
Community suggestions are welcome, by the way.
And I feel like we're open to the community and hearing out what they want to see. At the end of the day, this event happens because people come out. So whatever people want to see incorporated, we're open to implementing, and yeah.
Why Not Wednesday is here to bring that street fair community, one Wednesday at a time. From downtown Fresno, Elizabeth Andres Aguilar, Fresno State Focus.
To keep up with Why Not Wednesdays, why not check out their Instagram at WhyNotDTFresno.
Today is Fresno State's annual Day of Giving, where money is raised for athletics, our colleges, and other departments on campus. We took our group photo today for the College of Arts and Humanities. So far, over $290,000 has been raised in just 14 hours. The leading department is athletics with $120,000 raised. Our College of Arts and Humanities is in second place.
Day of Giving is important to really all of the departments in the university because this is the one way that we can get funding for special projects that we ordinarily wouldn't be able to do. For instance, we're trying to buy a monitor to showcase all of our students' work, and without Day of Giving and funding from that, we wouldn't be able to make that kind of purchase.
Midnight today.
All right, let's do big arms. Do this all be happy.
It's Day of Giving at Fresno State, and the clock is ticking. Donors are chipping in for their department of choice, and I'm here with the guests to help us learn more. Joining me today is Dakota Dean. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem.
So first things first, for everyone that doesn't really know what Fresno State's Day of Giving is, can you explain a little bit?
So basically, our Day of Giving, and I honestly think it's a really cool incentive that we have going on at Fresno State to get a lot of fundraising in for our various departments that meet the different needs academically, socially on campus. And it's kind of like a friendly competition in a way because on their website, there is a leaderboard and the top ranking groups on the leaderboard, the organizations, are ranked by the most unique donors. So it's kind of interesting. It's not the people that give the most that show up on the top. It's not the groups that receive the most donations, but it's the people that have the most unique donors.
Wow, yeah, that is really a unique way to do that. And how big of an impact do these donations have on the departments at Fresno State?
Well, these donations have a very big impact because I can think of some groups that have a personal stake in some of my operations on campus. And just like the resources that I utilize as a student. And so Day of Giving is a way to mobilize and activate support for these different groups so that they can receive the funding they need, especially to adapt and to change as the needs of our student population changes as well.
Awesome. That's all the time I have today. Thank you for joining me, Dakota. Back to you, Vince and Valentino.
Thank you, Raul. It's Women's History Month, and Fresno State's Africana Studies program is showcasing Black women artists. Last week, the program hosted the Acoma Art Exhibit, where Black women artists displayed their work. The art varied from sculptures to 3D faces and even wall pieces. There was food, gift bags, and even a raffle giveaway.
In both Black History Month and Women's History Month, we want to do special programming to kind of bring the campus and the community together.
Africana Study program's next event is tomorrow in the nursery at Fresno State for a hands-on gardening workshop.
Lots of potential new Bulldogs were able to make their way around campus last weekend. We show you how the MCJ department welcomed them at Preview Day.
Plus, prices are on the rise now more than ever. McKenna Deeth shows us how some students are dealing with these costs and who may be able to help you save some money.
The skies are clear and the sun is finally out, but we could be back to rain next week. Your Focus on Weather is coming up after the break.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
Welcome to your Focus on Weather. My name is Spencer Bear. Right behind me, this is a shot taken earlier today from the third floor of the Resident Student Union overlooking the Speech Arts Building. That means our TV studio is somewhere right around there. And these sunny skies that Fresno has and the warm weather is not everywhere around the country. We can see southern Texas is experiencing a lot of rain right now, as well as some of the other southern states. Now we get a little bit more of a local look with this western satellite. And I know this storm system does look a little scary, but no, that's not where a lot of the rain is coming from next week. Instead, it's this little blue dot down here that's going to make its way up through the Pacific Ocean and hit the California coastline. For today's highs, we're still getting back to that regular spring weather. So we got a high of 82 in Fresno. So it's a little warm, but we're getting back there. And for today's lows, still getting back there, but I mean, the lows are usually pretty cool around this time of year. 57 is nothing to complain about. For the air quality, I mean, this is just fantastic across the board. I would say Kings and Kern, both at moderate, but for the Central Valley, where we have such a high presence of these cows, is fantastic as far as I can see. Now, for our extended outlook, the rain will be coming back starting on Sunday and going through until next Wednesday. Now, the campus will be closed on Monday, honoring Cesar Chavez Day. So when you get back to campus on Tuesday, make sure to bring those umbrellas and drive safe on your way to campus. My name is Spencer Bear, and that was your Focus on Weather.
Thank you, Spencer. Every year, Preview Day is a big day on campus. It's where we students and professors meet with students who are trying to decide if they want to become a Bulldog. This past Saturday, the campus was packed with booths from different clubs, departments, and student organizations. There were even live performances, guided tours, games, and prizes. This event is held to give aspiring Bulldogs a taste of what Fresno State has to offer.
Yeah, so Preview Day is pretty cool. It's for students who have been accepted or future Bulldogs, and they coming to experience what the campus is like, to talk to different programs, to go to workshops. It's just so that way they can get a sneak peek behind Fresno State.
Here in the Speech Arts Building, the Media Communications and Journalism Department had our own welcome meeting. Future Bulldogs got to hear from our professors and fellow students to learn about all things MCJ.
Many students are still trying to figure out what's next for them after graduation, but coordinators and alumni from Fresno State's graduate programs are here to help. The annual grad school recruitment fair was this afternoon at the North Memorial Garden. Students had the opportunity to explore and learn about different programs and see how they aligned with their goals. Coordinators say those extra 2 years in the classroom are not as daunting as they seem.
I know that time is standing still when you're not doing anything, but when you're doing your courses, it does fly by, and within a matter of 2 years, you'll be able to get your master's.
If you weren't able to stop by today's recruitment fair, you can go to the Career Development Center for help on figuring out your next steps.
It's no surprise to anyone that prices are constantly on the rise these days. The people who are feeling the pressure the most are students. McKenna Deeth gives us insight on how students can use their voices to make changes on campus to help with these overwhelming prices.
Students across the country are faced with having to work multiple jobs to afford paying for their tuition. Fresno State is one of the more affordable schools in California, but with the imposed tuition increase, students are left feeling voiceless.
I think with the whole increase of the student fees took many of us by surprise, in terms of implementing such harsh fees that are impacting, our students who come from many socioeconomic backgrounds. There needs to be a level of transparency and obviously accountability.
The ASI group on campus is holding elections to make a change for students.
ASI is a student-based entity here in Fresno State that really emphasizes the importance of student voice and, quite frankly, the well-being of our students.
Students on campus who are overwhelmed with the crazy costs of today's world, especially at school, have the power to make a change so life on campus can be more affordable.
The biggest problem throughout every university in the country is obviously the cost. Students having to work 2 to 3 jobs, feed their families, go to school and get their degree. They need more help, and here is where ASI is coming in to help with these costs.
Students are struggling to pay for food and are finding that financial aid is not enough of a service anymore.
Bring in my expertise and my track record on my advocacy and my fight for fighting for students who struggle with finances and how these fees continue to be a burden.
There is currently a vote happening to determine if the increase at Fresno State will go into place. From Fresno State, McKenna Deeth, Fresno State Focus.
A lot of different issues for students are on the ballot this election, including tuition costs. We'll talk more about the ASI election in a moment.
Almost 24,000 students are now enrolled at Fresno State, which means more people are having to look for parking. Joseph Joyce tells us more about the situation students gripe about a lot.
Thousands of students travel to Fresno State each day. Some walk, others ride the bus, but most drive their cars. With so many visiting campus from home, one thing they have to look for every day is parking. But how do students feel about parking on campus?
It's not great. It's never been great. I don't know. We just need more space, really. It's always cluttered unless you get here early in the mornings, I feel like. If you're coming to a class in the afternoon, good luck kind of thing. You have to kind of do a couple laps before you can find a spot.
At Fresno City College, one solution they have implemented to help with parking concerns is a parking garage.
That parking garage could almost park 800 cars. So that right there, just the fact that we now have 800 students that don't have to hunt for a parking spot. They can come in, and the earlier they're here, earlier they arrive to campus, the quicker they're going to find a space.
While some students may see parking overcrowding as an issue here on campus, as you can see all around me here at the Save Mart Center, there's plenty of parking spots for everyone. Derek Brantley with the Fresno State Police Department views the issue completely differently.
We have plenty of parking spaces. Matter of fact, there's between 500 and 1,000 spaces that go unused every day, but those are located over on the east side of campus. But in terms of availability, it's not really a challenge with available space.
There are over 20 different parking lots spread all over campus. Brantley explained that parking tends to be widely available closer to campus around morning and evening classes, but the issue students are saying is having to walk farther to get to their classes. At the Save Mart Center, a 10-minute walk from the Speech Arts Building, Joseph Joyce, Fresno State Focus.
Parking is one of the many topics on the mind of ASI presidential candidates as the election approaches. Kamala Sala, Carly Haw, and Guadalupe Zamudio Tellez participated in the ASI presidential debate this past Monday. Amongst many topics discussed, the candidates provided their take on some proposed solutions and to campus parking.
We plan to reallocate yellow spaces, for example, near the library for students because that is where they're a majority at.
As the next step, Slate, we are committed to fixing the parking on campus. We are committed to implementing smart parking technology that would include real-time parking meters to let you know when lots are full.
Parking here at Fresno State, we have a lot of parking spaces available. It's more of a matter of accessibility.
Students will receive an email on how to vote on April 1st. You can read more about the candidates on the ASI elections page. Coming up in sports, the Fresno State baseball and softball teams were on the road. We'll recap both series.
Plus, we give you a look at Fresno State football's video crew. See how this team on the sidelines helps the team on the field.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head.
Up in my head.
I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head. Up in my head to say. I got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes. Hey. Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head. Deep in my heart. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit. All over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. I got that bulldog.
I'm Ricardo Lozada with your focus on sports. The Fresno State baseball team was looking to keep its momentum going after a 4-3 loss to Sac State. Cam Snyder and Eddie Saldivar started the scoring for the Bulldogs. Each got a hit and an RBI single. However, that wasn't enough to hold off Sacramento State. The Hornets stung with 3 runs on the board to take the lead. Cam Snyder broke in another run in the 9th, but the Diamond Dogs could not pull off the win. Fresno State softball is looking to start up another winning streak. Last night, the Bulldogs swept Santa Clara in a doubleheader. In the first game, the Bulldogs came out with an 8-4 win. In the second game, however, Santa Clara took an early 1-2 lead and retired the first 9 batters for Fresno State. It was not a big deal for the Dogs after Elias hit a leadoff single in the 4th inning, which started their momentum to tie the game. The Bulldogs scored 4 runs to take a 5-3 victory over Santa Clara. Fresno State has now won 11 of their last 12 games. The Fresno State softball team is currently tied for first in the Mountain West. Part of that success comes from being able to host 3 different tournaments to start the season. I have more on what this hot start means for the team and why playing at home is so special.
Softball season is in full swing on the campus of Fresno State. Margie Wright Diamond is usually home for the Fresno State softball team. But this spring it will be home to not 1, but 3 different tournaments. The university hosted collegiate teams from states like Utah, Nevada, Northern and Southern California in only 3 weeks to start the season. Fresno State head coach Stacey May Johnson shares what these tournaments mean for her team going forward.
Great preparation. Obviously, half our conference schedule is played at home, but not all of it, and that's why we do go on the road as well. But you know, we like to establish that home field advantage early in the season, find out who we are and how we win here, and that's exactly what we use our preseason tournaments for.
Margie Wright Diamond has proven well for the Dogs as they have gone 14-3, including a sweep against rivals in the Mountain West, Boise State.
Coach May Johnson shares why winning at home is important.
Well, yeah, if you can't win at home, you're not going to win on the road. So it is. It's really important. But this is a special place. We have a very special fan base.
A major playmaker for the Bulldogs has been catcher Kennedy Bunker. Bunker had a hit in 11 of the last 12 games played during the 3 tournaments at Margie Wright Diamond. Bunker says playing at home is a key to their success.
Playing on a field that we're used to, it really means a lot because I mean, we practice here every single day, so we know what can happen on this field and we know what can't, and I think it's just like a good feeling to be home.
Fresno State is now in Mountain West Conference play and has won both series against Boise State and UNLV. The softball team is picked to finish second in the Mountain West. Reporting from Margie Wright Diamond, Ricardo Lozada, Fresno State Focus.
Fresno State softball will host 3 games against San Jose State, starting tomorrow and finishing up on Saturday. First pitch is set for 6 p.m. Spring football is in full swing, and while the players are putting in the work on the field, there is a whole team behind the scenes working just as hard. Victoria Picasso is here to tell us more about that.
This is a team you may only see if you're in the stands. Here's a closer look at the impact of the Fresno State football video crew. Behind the success of the Fresno State football team, the video crew is working hard to film and import every play during practices and games to help the Bulldogs improve their performance.
It's very entertaining and amusing to see different people that have never seen each other before college come together and try to build a team where they have to coordinate team practices.
Before heading into Valley Children's Stadium, the crew picks up their equipment in the office, making sure they have a camera, extra batteries, a tripod, SD cards, a walkie, and their script for the day.
Every practice I'm given a new script, and it's very important to know who and what I'm filming. From the sideline to the end zone, it is really important for the video crew to film every play to provide the tools for coaches and players to improve and succeed.
Immediately after every practice and game, the film is imported to the system for coaches and players to review.
My coach has a saying, film doesn't lie, and we go back to the drawing board, which is the film. Without film, hard to improve, and it's hard to see what we can work on as players.
Capturing every rep and every play, their hard work pays off, like you see here. Of course, it's not actual film anymore. Everything is shot on an SD card now. So it's digital, but they still call it film. Back to you, Ricardo.
Thank you, Victoria. Now let's take a look at Fresno State sports. Softball is at home this week, taking on San Jose State tomorrow night at 6. Baseball is on the road, also against San Jose State, Friday through Sunday. Then they will have a home match on Monday against Cal Poly. Women's water polo looks to get back in the win column against the Aztecs Saturday afternoon at 1. And that's your Focus on Sports. Back to you, Vincent.
Thank you, Ricardo. Every spring, Fresno State Spotlight Events holds a week full of celebrations, events, and fun. I Heart Fresno State began on Monday, kicking off the week of activities for all Fresno State students. The week began with the House Cafe. This had a live DJ, a dance floor, craft stations, and free treats for the first 200 students who came by.
So our Fresno State Week is a week that we go put on a week of full events celebrating Bulldog pride, Bulldog community, inclusivity, something that really matters to Fresno State, some of the values that we hold. And so Spotlight Events does this every single year in the spring semester.
Oh, there'll be a charm bar in the RSU, and Friday night is Glow in the Garden at the Satellite Student Union.
Next week on Fresno State Focus, we go behind the curtain with the Experimental Theater Company.
We also look around campus to see if it's up to par with ADA accessibility.
And people are investing in precious metals. Tune in to see why silver is back on the rise.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.